Greetings, leading edge geniuses. I'm Ananda, the Galactic Mystic, and this is your Navigational Astrology forecast for the weekend, October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. All right, everyone, this is going to be an interesting weekend because there's probably going to be a very palpable energy shift on Sunday. The beacon cards are taking us through a sequential journey over the weekend, and they don't always do that. They are not always in sequence. For Friday, our beacon card, our major arcana guidance card, is the Chariot, which has been some of the guidance this past week, hasn't it? Then on Saturday, it will be Strength, and then Sunday will be the Hermit. Now, if you watched the equinox video, the Hermit is our beacon card guidance for the entire season of fall. It's our fall equinox guidance to help us reach that internal balance. So let's begin with Friday. Our beacon card is the Chariot, as I just mentioned. And at this phase, the major arcana is the hero's journey. It's the journey of the Fool. It's the hero's journey that we all are a part of, that we all are undergoing in our lives. The Chariot is the beginning of a new leg for our hero, for us, for the story. At this point, he's mastered a certain leg of his experience, and he's self-confident, he's in control. So our hero at this point is self-confident. He is going out on his own. This is the type of, sorry, I thought a spider was on me. He knows, he's learned all he can learn up to this point. He believes in himself. This is consistent with the conjunction with the Sun and Mars. Sometimes you will hear this described as or called being Mars being combust. I usually don't say that. I usually just say conjunct. But just for your reference, whenever a planet is conjunct the Sun, sometimes astrologers will say that that planet is combust. And this has been a building energy, and you may be seeing this in the world. People are agitated. They can have big surges of energy and then be drained or depleted very quickly. This is a combustible situation. We have volcanoes going off. It's going to be very interesting to watch this energy build as Mercury retrograde is plowing his way to that conjunction, that triple conjunction that will be October 9th. In the meantime, we are feeling this combustible energy. The Sun and Mars are both conjunct each other and opposing Chiron. And I've been also talking about this for quite a while now. And so today I want to just mention that in addition to relationships being possibly a little bit more combative, and you can either make a choice to heal them or to sever these relationships, there is another aspect to this that I want to talk about today. Chiron is the wounded healer. He's the centaur, and he represents both our wound, the wound that we struggle to heal, but it's a wound that we can help others heal. We can heal in others. In certain ways that he is interpreted, it can also mean, he can also mean the physical body or the physical body being wounded. Now, Mars is the warrior. This is action, assertiveness, can be passion, can be anger, it's energy, it's fuel. And so this can create a situation where the body is harmed. So I want you to slow down. Just as a general rule, for the entire month of October, I want you to slow down. This will only be possible to a certain degree, but I just want you to have it in your mind where even if it's only your thoughts that you can slow down, even if it's only that you can take a breath and become more aware of your surroundings. I want you to do that to make it part of your daily mystical practice, being a conscious person. Let's just slow down a little bit, as much as we can. We have a Leo moon until Sunday. The moon will move into Virgo. We are feeling, this is really interesting because even though there is a warm, loving, generous, affectionate energy to this Leo moon, there's also a sesquiquadrate to Neptune, which can have us feeling not quite so compassionate. And this energy I'm seeing throughout the chart for the weekend. There's a very tight semi-square with Venus. That's going to have us not feeling, just feeling pretty detached, not all that compassionate or tender. And that's combined with this combustible energy. It could have us in a situation or in a general mood where we're actually not feeling particularly tender. For Friday and Saturday, we do have the sun moon sextiling each other. This is the closing sextile, the last quarter phase. On Sunday, the moon will be moving into the balsamic waning crescent phase, and then we'll be ready for our new moon on October 6th. Before Friday and Saturday, for these last days of the last quarter lunar cycle, we're still making readjustments, we're eliminating things, we're correcting things. And then on Sunday, the balsamic phase is about going within. This is the day of the hermit. I love how it all just aligns like that. This is when we know the messages are really important. This is preparation, incubation, and surrender, as well as closure. Truly, this Mercury retrograde square with Pluto is the loudest energy in the chart right now. And we've been in this energy for a while. And if you're paying attention, you're going to see this playing out in the news. So with Mercury retrograde square Pluto, we are investigating. We're trying to get to the bottom of things. We're trying to get to the bottom of things that we could not previously get to the bottom of. We are going back to a former subject or topic or particular rabbit hole to dig to find the truth now that we could not find then. You can see this happening with the congressional hearings about Afghanistan. We're hearing things from that is not what we have been told before. So we are finding truth. There's, the Epstein stuff going on. There's just a lot of, okay, what is unresolved? What do I not yet know the truth about? Let me dig some more. Now, in a leading edge perspective, like a leading edge consciousness perspective, for those who are mystically inclined, this particularly Mercury retrograde square Pluto is a break the spell aspect, okay? And when I say break a spell, I mean that in many different nuanced ways. This is about becoming aware of the spells that we allow to be put on us, that we put on ourselves, the things, the tapes that we play that are not true, the ways that we allow our unconsciousness to take away our ability to see. I'm going to again reference the story about the natives who could not see Magellan's tall ships in the ocean because it was not something that they could even relate to as something possible, seeing something as totally foreign to them. Don't know if it's historically accurate, but I love this metaphor because that spell, just imagine it being a doorway inside of your consciousness, and the door is shut. If you have not been able to unlock it, if you're not even aware that the door is there, if you're not aware that there's a spell or a level of unconsciousness about a thing, how do you unlock that door? Well, a lot of times we can't if we don't even know it's there, right? So this is when outside events, divine intervention, other things come in to kind of kick it a little bit. And at that moment, which can often be very traumatic and uncomfortable, this is when we can be like, oh, what's behind this door? I never even knew this door was there. I didn't know this spell was upon me. I did not know. I was unconscious about this. And one of the most uncomfortable things about this is that we learn where we are fallible. We learn where we're wrong. And we just need to go ahead and do away with all the hardcore judgment around being wrong. So what if you're wrong? So what? We all are wrong. We're all fallible. We all are doing the best we can. If we just take that moment and that opportunity to be like, well, crap, I was totally doing the best I could. Now I know better. Now I have access to this doorway. And I'm not going to give myself a hard time about it. I'm just going to keep moving forward through this door. Saturday, this is the strength day. So at this phase of the hero's journey, there's a realization that everything isn't going as we thought it might. Things begin to happen that require inner strength. This is not an over-the-top physical strength. This is an inner strength, the inner resilience. This is where we build our courage, where we know that it's time to kind of take a second, step back, and ground ourselves so that we can be strong, so that we can be soft, in a strong way and be strong in a soft way. This is where we put the ego on the back burner. Now, this is really interesting, and this could be a humbling experience because we're still in this kind of not particularly compassionate mood. But being in this discompassionate, I don't think that's a word, but in this mood, we have a choice. We are beginning to at least become conscious of the need to go within on Saturday. We may not actually be going within yet, but there's going to be that kind of confronting energy that may have us feeling like, you know what, I'm going to have to take a minute here. So on Saturday, the Leo moon will be squaring Venus in Scorpio. And this can be a bit of an uncomfortable sensation with conflicting emotions that just kind of make things complicated. We may not be able to express our needs. We may not be able to get our emotional love needs met. And we may be on our own for those things, in other words. And, you know, that's okay. If we need to take things into our own hands, it just be like that sometimes. The caution here would be if you are going to fill those needs with food or substances, at least do so consciously and say, I am eating this ice cream in lieu of having my emotional needs met, and I am going to be okay with that in this moment. Or don't, either way, just no self-judgment is my point. Same time, the moon will be opposing Jupiter in Aquarius. This can sometimes have us feeling a bit emotionally detached, but it it may not be, that part of it might not be that uncomfortable. With the combination with the square with Venus, it would be nice if we were a little detached, so we, it would be more comfortable, but it may just be that we feel as if we have to make a choice, or there's this tension about, our emotions not being able to expand into compassion and understanding for others. We're a little bit self-focused. And this also brings in the Sun-Mars conjunction as well, opposing Chiron. It's all tied in together, of course. Mercury retrograde is in a lovely trine with Jupiter. And there's just a lot to think about, a lot to talk about. There's a lot of information, and that's definitely the case these days, isn't it? Okay, on Sunday, this is the Hermit Day. This is our looking within day. We have a Virgo moon, and we are now in the balsamic lunar phase. This is the waning crescent. In this phase, as I said before, we are surrendering, going within, incubating. This is supposed to be a time of rest. Again, with the slow down if you can, even if it's just mentally, advice, because it's a lot of energy that we are contending with. It's just really a lot. And putting a little bit of emotional maturity, responsibility on the table is going to serve us well when it comes to how comfortable we are. The moon will be squaring the moon's nodes today, and this can continue with the uncomfortable sensations of, where am I getting my nurturing? Am I nurturing myself enough? Am I nurturing others enough? There really is this whole theme about compassion for others versus self-compassion. And with the moon in Virgo, we're probably going to want to do some writing about it, maybe talk it out, but maybe write it out first. With Mercury in retrograde, if you have to have a conversation with someone, just to make sure your thoughts are clear and that you understand exactly what you want to say. We don't really want to be flying off the cuff with conversations right now, because they can really devolve quickly. The moon will also be squaring Black Moon Lilith today, and this is Black Moon Lilith mean. This is the version of us that we adjust for others' comfort. And so within this whole experience that we're having this weekend, we may be feeling a challenge with that. We may be feeling resentful for how we have changed ourselves for others' comfort. We may be self-blaming for that same reason. At the same time, we may be thinking that our true nature is just too much for others. We have the true or oscillating Black Moon Lilith in a square with Jupiter and opposing Venus. And so there's a choice. Again, this theme, so many themes, the theme of making a choice. If you are going to water yourself down, then at least do so consciously. It's all about consciousness. It's not about being perfect. It's not about perfection. It's just about being aware. And so if we're gonna say, you know what, I'm not gonna cuss like a sailor around my grandma anymore. Some adjustments are good to make. Some adjustments are reasonable. With that, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Let me know how you're doing. New moon coming up. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for navigating the leading edge of consciousness with me. It's a wonderful journey. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon.